Left versus right, two sides, one human story. Politics loves simple labels: left, right, progressive, conservative. Boxes that promise clarity, but often deliver division. We're told the world is split in two. On one side, the left, dreamers, idealists, fighters for equality. On the other, the right, realists, traditionalists, defenders of order. But real life is never that clean, because behind every ideology is not a system, it's a human being, and humans are messy. The left, fighting for change, wrestling with reality. The left speaks the language of justice, equality, inclusion, social responsibility. It believes society can be reshaped, improved, made fairer. At its best, the left asks brave questions. Why do some people start life 10 steps behind? Why does wealth concentrate while others struggle to survive? Why should opportunity depend on birth, race, gender, or class? These questions matter. They always have. Every major social advance, labor rights, civil rights, women's rights, began as a left-wing idea that made people uncomfortable. But here's the uncomfortable truth about the left. It sometimes falls in love with ideas more than outcomes. In chasing moral purity, it can lose contact with practical limits. Complex problems get reduced to slogans. Disagreement becomes oppression. Questions become violence. And slowly, a movement built to liberate starts to police thought. When everything is emotional, nothing is negotiable. When intentions matter more than results, failure is always blamed on others. And when identity becomes sacred, dialogue becomes impossible. The left risks becoming a mirror of what it claims to fight. Intolerant of difference, just under a different flag. The right protecting order, afraid of change. The right speaks the language of stability, tradition, responsibility, individual effort. It believes society survives by preserving what works. At its best, the right asks grounded questions. What holds a community together? What happens when rules disappear? Who pays the cost of radical change? The right reminds us that institutions exist for a reason, that families, culture, and shared values don't magically replace themselves. That incentives matter, that chaos is not freedom. These concerns are not evil, they are necessary. But here's the uncomfortable truth about the right. It sometimes confuses tradition with truth. Change becomes a threat rather than a tool. Nostalgia replaces analysis. Problems are dismissed as personal failure rather than systemic design. When the past is idealized, the present is ignored. When personal responsibility becomes a moral weapon, empathy dies. And when fear drives politics, power becomes the goal. The right risks defending systems not because they work, but because they're familiar. The real conflict is not left versus right. The real divide is not ideology. It's certainty versus curiosity. People on the left can be authoritarian. People on the right can be compassionate. People switch sides when life hits them hard enough. A broke student loves redistribution. A small business owner fears regulation. A young activist believes in revolution. A parent worries about stability. Same human, different chapter. Politics pretends we're static. Life proves we're not. Both sides share the same blind spot. Neither side likes admitting this. They need each other. The left without the right drifts into chaos. The right without the left calcifies into decay. Progress without stability collapses. Stability without progress rots. One asks, why not? The other asks, at what cost? Civilizations survive when both questions are asked, and die when only one is allowed. Why online politics feels so toxic? Because outrage is profitable. Algorithms reward anger, not understanding. The loudest voices are the most extreme. Nuance doesn't trend. Humility doesn't go viral. So the left sees every conservative as heartless. The right sees every progressive as insane. And meanwhile, real problems, housing, healthcare, education, meaning, remain unsolved. Division is easier than solutions. Blame is easier than responsibility. The hard truth, no one likes most people don't want truth. They want confirmation. They want their side to be good and the other to be evil. Heroes and villains. Us and them. But reality doesn't care about our teams. It rewards systems that work and punishes those that don't. A better question than left or right, instead of asking, which side are you on? Ask, what problem are you trying to solve? Because ideology is a tool, not a religion, and tools that aren't questioned eventually become weapons. Final thought. The left reminds us to care. The right reminds us to think. Lose either, and society pays the price. The future doesn't belong to one side winning. It belongs to people brave enough to listen, critical enough to doubt, and honest enough to admit when their side gets it wrong. And that is the most radical position of all.